What's going on, folks? TJ Lauerman, a.k.a. That Sports Gamer here, coming at you with a fresh episode of Bullpen Banter number 46. Tonight we're going to be talking about the top 5 teams that are just at the cusp of being a super contender in franchise mode of MLB The Show 17. I'm joined by my franchise expert, Chris, a.k.a. Snaggle J. Chris, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I got no complaints.
You are the franchise expert because you show up on time.
Well, I appreciate the title. I will wear it well.
Well, that's what I need you to do here. What's going on to the chat? How's everyone doing? We got the YouTubes, we got the Twitches, we got them both up and running. And I guess you can send me bits. I don't know how that happens, but I mean, you could do it if you want. Now that we're what are we, Twitch affiliated? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Can you send someone bits not in their channel?
No. I don't think you can. I think it's just, you get the little bit icon in the chat. That's the only way I've ever done it. I know you can do it when channels are offline. Like, you can still go to like channel and do it in the chat when they're offline. But I have no idea if,
Like, I can't cheer you from this channel.
No. And you can't cheer yourself.
Just remember, you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose unless you're really close friends.
Exactly. 100% agree.
So, as we wait for that other guy to show up, what you been up to in the good old MLB The Show?
I want to say maybe a little bit of everything.
Ooh, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Huh?
I kind of took a break over the weekend. I played some Friday night. I had a play versus CPU game that would have completed 3 separate missions for me.
Ooh.
And then when the game completed, it popped up server error, which means the game will never, ever count. So I basically wasted my time. So Saturday and Sunday, we had some nice weather here. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to take a break from the game. I'm going to step away. I went back to it a bit today. I'm doing I finally got the 2 wins against the Reds to get the all-star veteran Griffey. I need 1 more double with Buddy Bell to get the 97 Kinsler.
Nice. I didn't even. I think I did the Rangers, and I don't even think I started working on that whole thing.
Yeah, you need to get 10 hits with rookie Nelson Cruz. After you get the 2, you get the 2 wins on rookie or higher. 10 hits with Nelson Cruz, rookie. 2 wins or 3 wins on veteran or higher, and then it's 5 doubles with Buddy Bell. And then I'm also very close to the Tony Gwynn for San Diego. I need 1 more home run with Willie McCovey.
Yeah, I didn't even play the Rangers versus on rookie.
Yeah, see, and now I've been trying to grind at the seasons a little bit. I finally took my first L in seasons. 14-1 now.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
And actually, which is unconventional for me, I've been playing some BR. I started a new BR run today. I was talking in the Discord about my lit squad.
How lit? So lit?
I mean, I told you my bullpen. I've got Ken Giles, Kimbrel, the 94 K-Rod, Liberator, Pedro Strop. That's just the bullpen. I've got rookie Chipper, All-Star Griffey. I've got Mike Trout. I've got Flashback Salty on the bench.
Nice. I just looked. I am 16-2.
Not bad.
One was a real loss. The other one was a disconnect.
Yes.
That some people asked for the footage for documentation, and I accidentally clicked too far, and it suspended the game.
Yes.
I would have waited the 9 hours to get the win, but...
FSU, I've heard that complaint many, many times. The screen image in events is deceiving.
Oh, so that is a lie.
There are no diamond rewards in events, even though I think Millennium and I were talking about it in the Discord the other day. It's a not necessarily a deceiving way. It's a poor way they chose to show your progress through the cumulative wins. They maybe should have picked something different. I mean, they were very clear what the rewards were, but still, you throw that blue diamond on there, and people's mind start to race.
Like Blue Diamond nuts.
Yeah. I thought they were the almonds? Or is that green?
Blue Diamond almonds? I think they're. I mean, come on. Blue Diamond has to make something other than just almonds, right?
Yes. Well, probably. Yeah, definitely on the screen. It says cumulative reward progress 5, 10, 15, 20.
Yeah, let's be fair. It's deceiving. It's not something that I think that was intentional. Obviously, they're just trying to say there are 4 tiers of prizes. The diamond tier prize in this game will be for cumulative. It will be the Justin Verlander rookie for 10 wins in a row. Will be the Jackie Robinson first base, which is actually technically, I think someone put the ratings in. He is a diamond at second base. If you move him to second base.
Yeah, he's got some good stats. I would show you the card right now, but they extended the event longer, so I don't have him until midnight. But yeah, so this event was interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I don't know.
When did they even start it? Did it start like Thursday afternoon?
It started Thursday at 3 Eastern.
Thursday at 3.
Yeah, so
and then it came out with there was the packs and then the ticket store or the ticket counter update that had the under 25 guys. I mean, like I'm going to be straight honest with you. I played one game of it. I put a team in, and then I decided that I felt as though my time over the weekend was going to be better spent in other portions of Diamond Dynasty. The Jackie Robinson, while he is good, I just did not feel like trying to grind out 10 straight wins to get a player that may or may not be on my team 2 weeks from now seemed like a good way to spend my time in the mode.
And you've got a plethora of second basemen right now. You have the Brock Holt that you're working on for the Diamond mission, so you're going to be playing him. Yeah. Plus, you're going to end up getting that Kinsler.
Yeah, I'm one double away from Kinsler, so it's like to play him at second. And I mean, there's not a chance I'm going to use him in the outfield. I mean, my outfield is way too crowded.
He doesn't even have outfield eligibility, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's first and second base.
Oh, first, yes, that's right. He's only first and second. So I mean, I could use him at first, but like I was telling you, TJ, then I have a problem where my entire lineup is right-handed hitters, and that's not an ideal situation to have either.
Well, and let's be quite fair with this. Battle Royale, as long as Battle Royale is set up the way it is, which is you have a very, very decent shot of getting at least a good gold card if you can get the 9 wins. And 9 wins with 2 losses is not terrible. It's not that hard if you're patient and a decent player, not even a top level player. Like to get the flawless, to get that flawless diamond to go 12-0, you've got to be pretty good and fairly lucky with the servers.
Yeah, I feel like the lucky with the servers is the bigger thing.
Yeah, I don't think getting to that, if you put servers aside, I don't think getting to that gold level is an impossibility.
No.
So if you continuously do Battle Royale instead of events, I mean, the first event was completely out of reach. And again, let's also state this is still early on for events. They're still working out kinks, not only with the servers, but like with what the rewards are going to be for what event. So this is a weekend event, not a 1 week event like last time. But last time 80 wins felt. I mean, we all thought 80 wins was pretty unreachable for most players, right?
Yeah.
But 10 wins over the weekend, or even 20 wins. I think 20 wins wasn't. If you spent,
if you spent the time,
it's
possible.
not. Yeah, it's not terrible. Like I said, it's not 80 wins impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, let me talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or else I will send you back to Canada, which is where
I'm
you
already
are.
I'm already in Canada.
That's how quick I'll send you back, that you're already there.
Like Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah. So like Thursday night, I got on, played. What I do? I played a game, got a win. Played another game, got a loss. Played my third game, it froze, and that was like 11:30 at night, or maybe like 12. So I was like, all right, it froze, so I'm just gonna leave my console on overnight. So I got that second win the next morning. Friday night, I think I ran off 6 wins. Friday night, I must have ran off 6 wins because I got to 7-0. Saturday night, or a seven game streak. Saturday night was the big night. I played a game off the stream, and it worked. So I got 8 in a row. started the stream, won 9 in a row because the guy quit after the first inning for no apparent reason. Then 10-0, the guy quit after the second inning for no apparent reason. I got my Jackie Robinson, and then I was like, I'm not going to get another 10 wins between tonight and tomorrow night, so I didn't even try. But now that, if I would have known that Monday night I would have had some time to play, I probably would have gone for the 20 wins and maybe gotten there. But yeah, having to just turn it off one night of this made getting 20 wins for me almost impossible. So once I got my Jackie Robinson, I kind of just gave up on events for this event. Snaggle.
Now that we're 2 events into this, I feel like this should have probably been the first event, given the shorter time frame, the lower level rewards. I mean, if this event would have been, when the first event was, which I think it wasn't the first weekend of release, it was the second weekend, correct?
Or second week.
Yeah, I feel like I would have put more time into this event given the rewards if it was, a week or 2 into the season, because like by now I have, a handful of diamonds and an all gold team, and it doesn't seem as appealing to me.
Yeah,
the first event you had the potential for, like, I just feel like given the way the event was structured and the rewards, that maybe they should have been flip-flopped.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where you don't know what they're going to do with these cards later on.
Yeah,
there might be a thing that's going to need all the Jackie, like how in the Griffey mission, there's collect all the Griffies. There might be a collect all the Jackie Robinson, and maybe this was one that you could only acquire through this, other than the auction house after people actually get them.
Yeah, and the other part of this too is for people that aren't, we deal in a community that are people that spend a lot of money on the game. Most people I haven't. I spent $10 the other night to do those 2,000 Stubbs packs, but that's the first money I've spent on the game. That Jackie Robinson card would play for me. The Verlander very possibly. I think there's a mission for 8 strikeouts with him to get a pack.
Yeah,
like those things matter to people who
to Team No Money
are not. Yeah, the Team No Money who are not spending top dollar on this.
Yeah.
Like I spent $100 to start to get in, but I'm at legitimately $110 flat in Diamond Dynasty. So I'm very happy that they're still thinking of those people with the rewards.
Yeah. And I also think that's why the common bronze one was first, so that everybody could get in. Because in this you could use golds as long as they were under 25, but you could not use diamonds. So that's another reason that one probably started off.
And the other part of that is, I talk about Battle Royale. Well, Battle Royale's 1,500 stubs, and I know you can get that by just playing. But like, I've actually had to sell some cards a couple times because I've been working the market back and forth, and trying to use my stubs judiciously. So just to get into Battle Royale style. So
I feel like I'm kind of in the same, and I think we'd have to have a longer discussion on how the difference is. But I mean, I have not spent any money on this game since the week that it came out. I bought the digital deluxe. I spent $100 in packs, and I haven't spent any money since then. And I haven't really wanted to. Like, I haven't had a situation where I've been like, oh, I really want to, drop, $10 on stubs or $20 on stubs so that I can make this happen. Someone tweeted at me last week, wanted me to review the Jim Rice card, the one that was the reward for the first event. So, I had to sell a few cards to make it happen, but I don't know. I feel like there is more opportunity in this version of Diamond Dynasty to earn yourself stubs by completing, very simple missions. Like, you get very simple daily missions that are like lock, one dude to your collection, and like, here's 100 stubs. And why 100 stubs may seem insignificant, you're a 15th of the way to a BR. I personally feel like stubs are a little easier to come across this year.
Yeah, I haven't tried to do the math on what a win gets you in stubs. That's mainly because I've only played like 18 games, so. But it feels like you're winning more than you were last year. But also, I feel like you've also been doing a lot more missions and having stuff happen, so that you're having ways to get more stubs. So
Yeah, I feel like I may have spent more time in Diamond Dynasty than you fellers.
Bob Feller.
Yes.
Yeah, I still think even if you don't spend a lot, you can still build up a good team.
Absolutely.
I know Based on Balls in the chat has a pretty good team, and I don't think he spent much. And he just bought the game like a couple days ago.
Right. And yeah, and that's the thing is with the I feel like the team and player epics have made a huge difference for people, on how they're grinding through the mode. I mean, some of those, team and player epics are very, very good, and while they do take some time, they are, very attainable if you're willing to put the time into grinding for them.
And some of them are like super cheap. Like I think there's 3 teams that are under like 4,000 stubs each, something like that.
Yeah.
Let me double check. I have my notes because of all the ones that I actually want to complete. Yeah, like the A's, Phillies, and Padres are all super cheap. I think for those across those 3 teams, the most expensive card is Bill Myers, and he was 18,000 stubs I think last night when I was looking at him, which is even cheaper than the 2,000 stubs he was when he was still silver, I think. And that'll get you 86 Win, 89 Schmidt, and 88 Donaldson if you do the team epics. Nice. So those are some pretty nice guys.
I'm not a real big fan of that 88 Donaldson, but
is he lefty heavy, I assume?
He's very lefty heavy. Yeah. But that 86 Tony Gwynn is a phenomenal card.
Yeah, that thing looks pretty nasty.
All the Gwynns are pretty good. To be fair, the rookie Gwynn is really good if you use him where they need to too. But that you're right. All of the Gwynns have that high contact, high vision, great fielding, good speed kind of build to them.
Yeah, they only actually have 2 Tony Gwynns in the game right now, the 82 and the 86.
Yeah.
That Daddy Leagues has anyway.
Yeah, I think Daddy Leagues has them all.
Yeah, but I mean the 86 that you get for doing the Padres epic. 99 contact versus righties, 90 contact versus lefties, 90 speed, 99 vision, and then he's got 82 fielding, 87 arm strength. As an 86 gold, that's a corner outfielder you can probably put in your lineup, be your leadoff hitter, and just leave him there.
It's
never have to worry about leadoff hitter again.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Ichiro was last year, essentially.
So
the Ichiro, but not a 94. Was that Ichiro like 90? It was like 93, 94. Right?
90. He was a 90. Oh, the Conquest Ichiro.
It was a lot like the Gwynn last year.
Or also the Gwynn
last year was pretty good too.
But yeah, the Conquest Ichiro last year was a 93.
Yeah. Yeah, and also you say Conquest. Conquest is also a great way to get stubs with those teams. And then I just got that Goldschmidt. He's going to play for me. The role that Goldschmidt's going to play for me, since I have Freddie Freeman, I almost don't know if I actually want to make the run towards the World Series level in ranked head-to-head, because I have the 89 Goldschmidt that's going to murder lefties. He's going to be used to murder lefties. Is the 97 going to be that much better for me? I don't really know. So questionable if I'll jump back in. I think I'm at like 662. I don't know if I want to risk doing it.
I'm in the high 6s. I'm definitely going to spend some time grinding for the Goldschmidt. I really want that Goldschmidt. First base is a bit of a weakness for me right now. I have the 89 Goldschmidt, but 97 would be better.
Yeah, and for what I'm going to use Goldschmidt for, I think the 89 is fine, but it would be nice to have the 97.
Yeah.
Even if I can just flip them. I assume those are sellable. Do we know if the rewards are sellable?
I have no idea.
Something we should ask. Snaggle, write that down. Make a note.
Done.
All right. Excellent. What else?
You know what else? I got one here. I got a good thing here. A Stocky, eat that dirt. Get out of here before I ban you. Sorry, God.
All right. Thanks for taking the time out of our show to do that. Appreciate it.
I have to. I'm getting attacked. I'm getting completely attacked in the chat, and it's not going to happen.
I mean, you have a hammer. You can ban people.
I don't want to ban A Stocky. No, don't ban A Stocky.
No, I didn't ban him. I purged his chat.
Listen.
Oh, okay.
I just purged his chat.
I was kidding.
Just ban him, and then he can complain about you on Reddit, and it's fine.
This is a place of positivity. We're like the New Day.
Yeah.
We're like the New Day of the MLB The Show community.
Yeah. Bull.
To be fair,
Banter.
A Stocky's like my Tyson meal.
He's worthless.
No. I got the Titus brand, the A Stocky brand.
He's just big and worthless?
No.
If Titus O'Neil is the one I'm thinking of, big and worthless.
No, Titus O'Neil, the Titus brand. A Stocky's trying to find his guy.
Mills, you're wasting your time, man.
Titus
You really are.
O'Neil.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah.
Is anyone of any other news?
Yeah, Titus
working
O'Neil
on things?
is the big worthless guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
He's like a knockoff Terry Crews. All right. We want to talk about a little franchise action in the top 5 teams that you should be using if you want to win real soon. You suck.
Franchise is terrible. No one play franchise mode.
I mean, you like franchise just because you like the animations in it, which makes
Love
no
franchise.
sense.
Can just real quick? Can we talk about that real quick? And in a positive manner.
Sure.
So, and I'm going to keep this as positive again. So, I've noticed over the last week or two, before we get too far into this, it feels like offline play, and I can't tell. So I'm going to ask the chat and everybody else. It feels like offline play has a better set of animation. Like you see more animations offline or stuff like that. So maybe it's just me. Like it feels like a better game offline, and I don't know that that's anyone's fault. I think it's obviously there's some frame rate stuff you see online, but I just feel like the game plays in a more realistic fashion.
So I've probably, if I added up my gameplay time, I've probably spent 50-50 between franchise and Diamond Dynasty. And in Diamond Dynasty, I've played, a good chunk of CPU games. I played 15 seasons games. And I have to agree, I enjoy playing this game more in a in franchise mode. And it's and I never really thought about it like a whole lot until you mentioned it earlier today. And I actually was streaming franchise before this this show. And I agree, you do see animations within the franchise that I don't know if they're taken out of the online play, like for processing purposes, but little things like the second baseman ranging, to a certain spot and then doing a spinorama type play. You don't see that in online play a whole lot. You don't see it in franchise mode a whole lot either, but it does happen when the ball is in that right spot. It's just, again, I don't know if it's something where they've toned down the animations to try and, keep the server load a little bit less. Like I don't know what the answer is there, but I do agree that the game does play differently offline.
I have no comments because who plays offline? Suckers. Lots of suckers.
I don't know.
And the word you were looking for.
I don't know. There's a lot of those bugs got fixed from a bunch of offline players, just as a heads up.
Yeah.
So.
And
the word you were looking for before was pirouette.
Pirouette. What did I say?
Spin aroundy thing?
I have
spinorama as a hockey player term. I'm
hockey
Canadian,
term, yeah.
So that's acceptable for me. I just feel like even like if you look at like a play versus CPU Diamond Dynasty game, which is basically as close as Diamond Dynasty gets to offline, even that versus playing the CPU in franchise it's not the same. It does not feel the same.
No. When you play versus CPU, it is an online game.
It is.
It's considered. It's on the. It's considered on the server. You get everything you have online. Like the bunting versus CPU, the bunt cheese detector is on during versus CPU games.
But I still find like even the way the AI acts in those situations is a little different. I feel like the AI pitches differently offline, is a little more like has a little higher tendency to mix it up and throw balls out of the strike zone. I just feel like there is some sort of divide there that I can't explain.
Here's the one thing that did it for me over the weekend is you guys know I use shifts online and offline. I use like heavy shifting when I play online and offline. I had a second baseman in extreme right, so he's in a short right field. I had a line drive directly at him online, and he kind of just stood there and watched it go by him. and that I had the exact same play today in a franchise game with. This is going to sound hilarious, but I'm doing a Detroit Tigers franchise.
Yep.
It was the Gold Live Series Ian Kinsler on my online team because he's the one gold I have.
Yep.
And it was Ian Kinsler on the Tigers. It was the same player, and Ian Kinsler made this play without it wasn't even like a question. And I'm starting to notice that more often that balls, like fielders aren't getting to some of the balls, like the little short hopper to the second baseman that a speedster beats out at first base sometimes.
Yeah,
beats it out a whole lot more online than he does offline.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like, again, I feel like that Billy Hamilton diving play that I made last week in an offline franchise game, I feel like you don't make that play online, and you definitely don't see it online. Because there's maybe not a hiccup, but like the reaction is just a split second slower, and the animations are sometimes a little bit jankier. Like I feel like it's harder to make those dynamic plays with the same players online versus offline.
And I think part of that is balancing, by the way. I honestly do believe, I think they know it, and I think part of that is balancing the game for online play. So I don't think it's a bad thing per se. But for me, who's looking for those extra animations, it just feels like I'm not seeing them online.
Yeah.
So
I just want my players to play to their attributes. And I feel like sometimes when some of the animations are stripped or removed or for balancing or for whatever reason, I feel like you're taking away from the attributes of that player. And therefore it makes it a little less worthwhile for me to have that player. Now, I'm sure it's balanced across the board, so I'm probably reading more into it than I probably have to. But yeah, I do enjoy playing this game offline more than I do online, regardless of the way the servers have performed in the first, 32 days into this? Oh, no, we're almost 34 days into it now.
We're in May.
Yeah.
It's going to be May. Sure. I mean, I don't play offline that much, so I don't really see that. But I've been making my dive up the middle and then doing the roll over on the belly for the great throw.
Oh, yes.
But that's mainly because I've been using Xander Bogaerts there for the 25 and under thing, and Buddy Bell there for normal times. Right. But I have seen people actually make that play and then throw it into the stands, which was pretty awesome because I think I won a game, or it led to me winning a game because of that. But yeah, I haven't really noticed a big difference, but I also haven't played a lot offline, so I would not be the best to judge that.
I think it definitely requires further evaluation. It's having 5 weeks into the game, you start to notice these trends. Is it something that's going to iron itself out as they iron out some of these greater server issues? It's hard to say. I don't think it's an issue per se. But I definitely agree with Millennium. At this point, if you told me I could play a franchise game or I could play a ranked seasons game, I'm going to pick franchise game 10 times out of 10.
That's because you really don't want that gold trinket.
No, that's just because I want to enjoy the time that I would get to actually play the game and not have to be worried about, extracurricular factors.
I guess. I mean, to each their own. I would rather play a human being 10 times out of 10.
Hey,
assuming that it's going to be a level playing field and assuming that it's actually going to work.
I feel like the CPU in this game resembles a human being better than any other sports game. I think, not saying it is not a human being. There are different strategies. One of the reasons that I enjoy offline so much more in this game than others is I feel like I get a realistic sports experience, and it still feels like a human is playing as the CPU. Whereas even when I play other games like Madden or NBA, I feel CPU tendencies like that bleed over no matter who you're playing against. In this game, I can feel the individual differences in tendencies, not just ratings.
The way the improvements that they made to the CPU bullpen management are very, very noticeable. And they are like, I've had some substitutions in franchise games where I'm like, oh wow, that's a really smart move. That's exactly what I would have done like, you know, in a human versus human game. Like that has made a huge difference for how I interpret the AI's way to play the game.
Agreed. Now, give me 5 teams that are close to winning in franchise mode.
So what did we say? The almost there teams?
Yeah, I think so. You said almost there.
So almost there. So I actually had a list. I had to break down this list from 10 teams down to 5 teams.
And we think next week we're going to do what, like 3 to 5 year builds?
Yes,
so they're almost there, but not win right now.
Next week we'll be doing the teams that, you know, you're going to have to put some effort in to build them up to be a contender. So first up in our teams that are almost there is a team that is near and dear to Millennium's heart, and that is the Baltimore Orioles, who I feel are almost there. If I had to identify a few weaknesses on the team, and Millennium, you can feel free to correct me because you probably know them better than I do, that would be they definitely need to address their starting pitching, and they could probably use a left-handed reliever upgrade.
Yeah, I think the starting pitching is definitely the biggest problem. Yeah. But I think Tillman, Bundy, and Gausman, especially with Bundy and Gausman being better now, I think their velocity. I think Bundy plays better than his per nines, and I think Bundy's the better of the two, as crazy as that sounds. Yeah. And I think Tillman plays a lot better than. I mean, if you get past his windup, obviously, but yeah, I think Tillman plays better too. The one person that I think you're going to have the most problem with, and this is in real life too, is Ubaldo Jimenez. It's incredibly tough to throw strikes with him. While his per nines, his hits over 9 and K over 9 are 61 and 66. Dude, he's good break on his pitches, but he seems to get beat around, and the ball never seems to go where you want it if you're playing on decent settings to where your pitch accuracy is tough. Some of the other things you're going to run into with this team, while Chance Cisco is almost ready to come up, he doesn't have the fielding. He's probably a year away. So if Wellington Castillo gets hurt, you're screwed because Caleb Joseph is a black hole of offense. And this team, vision-wise, just there's not a lot of it. I think Hyun-Soo Kim is a great vision guy for the outfield, but after that, you better hit some home runs. You better get some guys on, be patient at the plate, and hit some bombs with Trumbo, Adam Jones, or Manny Machado, or even Jonathan Scope. Jonathan Scope is sneaky power in this game, or Chris Davis. So those are guys you have to really lean on. Trey Mancini is probably a year away from becoming a above average hitter for you. The problem is that his default position is first base, and his secondary positions are, well, actually in this roster in the 1.75, he doesn't have any secondary positions. I would suggest you editing that so he has left field and right field because that's what he has in real life now. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough to consistently hit the ball, and you will go through very big time slumps. Lefty reliever, yeah, you definitely need one. I think Vidal Nuno is okay. I think their normal lefty reliever, Donnie Hart, is severely underrated in this game. I think he's much better than the 50 that they give him. But I don't think you really need a lefty reliever when you've got Brock, O'Day, and Givens. I think all three of those guys can get lefties out, and obviously Britton can. So,
yeah, I feel like with O'Day and Brock especially, with their sinker and splitter respectively, those are very, very deadly pitches against left-handed hitters. I always love picking up Darren O'Day in any of my franchises. And I know in Diamond Dynasty, I used him. I got a lot of run out of him last year. If you can find someone to bite on Ubaldo Jimenez's contract, which is $13.5 million, like Millennium said, we're using OSFM 1.75 is the roster that we're using. If you can find somebody to take that contract off your hands, and then you can, get some savings and reallocate that money elsewhere, that would probably be in your best interest. But yeah, again, this team, the other thing you have to realize is that if you play a lot of games in your franchise, and even if you sim a lot of games, you're in the American League East. The Red Sox are a juggernaut of a team that we covered last week. The Blue Jays are a pretty decent team. The Yankees are a good up-and-coming team, and the Rays can give you fits. So, yeah, you're definitely going to want to, practice your hitting, and if you can upgrade some of these positions. But, I feel they're a very good team that, you're a couple of shrewd trades away from having a World Series contender. Moving on, we have the team that was oh so close to winning the World Series last year. That would be the Cleveland Indians, who I did get some feedback after last week's episode, feeling that we should have included them in the win now teams. And I'm here to tell you why they are not a win now team, and you have some work to do. They do not have a lot of rotational depth. Their rotation is very good with Kluber, Salazar, Carrasco, Bauer, and Tomlin. But if you get some injuries, you have Cody Anderson as a 70, and then it's a 64 Mike Clevenger, and then you're down in the 50s. So, you do have Brady Aiken, who's an A, but he's not going to be helping you in the first or probably the second year. Their bullpen is very good, but their outfield is not great. I'm not a big Tyler Naquin fan in this game. I know people love him. I'm not a huge fan.
Did they already send him down in real life?
He got sent down in real life, I think in the first or second week of the season. And their right field's not great. I know you can kind of platoon Chisenhall and Brandon Guyer, but the thing is, this is a very young team. There is some maturing to do at different positions. I mean, you've got some top prospects like Mejia, but I just feel like with the Indians, you really got to look at your starting pitching depth, and center field and right field are probably worth upgrading.
Yeah, I think if you add, like you said, a center fielder and one outfielder, you're probably real close getting back to the playoffs, if not getting back into the World Series again. But without those, I think you're just like a piece or two off.
I would actually consider, and it's going to sound crazy, I would consider using Jose Ramirez in left field. I think he's better suited for it. Keeping Kipnis at second base, and then bringing like a guy like Eric Stamets, maybe, who's a lower hitting guy, or even using Lonnie Chisenhall at third base.
Yeah,
because Chisenhall now here's what you put: Brantley in right field, you put Chisenhall at third base, and you put Jose Ramirez in left field. I think that is a more apt lineup for this game. I think that works out better because Chisenhall is not a right fielder, especially not in this game. Not 44 speed with a 60 reaction, a 61 fielding. You're not going to play right field for me in this game with that. I don't care what your hitting stats are. So, but his hitting stats play at third base. I think he's better suited down there.
Yeah, I don't disagree. His 68 arm strength at third base would worry me a little bit.
And the 61 fielding, that's going to take a hit because the secondary position is going to be a problem too.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like your best bet is probably to either upgrade third base and then move Ramirez to the outfield, or the probably easier situation would be to upgrade your right field and then just use Chisenhall as a guy, as a bench bat, as a guy who can give guys a rest. Again, you do have you have lots of A and lots of B potential guys that you can use as trade bait. So there definitely is room to, trade some guys and improve this team. Obviously, your bullpen is fantastic. Miller and Allen's really all you need. Even beyond that, with Otero, Brian Shaw, Boone, Logan, Crockett, and McAllister, your bullpen is fantastic on this team. But yeah, just a few upgrades, and I think you're definitely. They also play in the American League Central, which is at the moment
devoid of talent.
Yeah, the Royals are not as good as they were. The Twins are bad. The Tigers are old, and the White Sox are very, very young.
Yeah.
So
I got one other configuration you can do.
Yeah.
Because he's got third base eligibility and his fielding is good enough to keep it. Carlos Santana can play third base.
Yep.
He's got a 79 arm, 70 fielding. Reaction's a little low, but dude, you can move him over there. Lonnie Chisenhall goes right to first base, where you don't have to worry about his arm, and then Jose Ramirez to the outfield. Like I said, I think the Cleveland Indians are more set, but I would want to see them get a large, big time outfielder at the corners instead of having to, work your way around it.
Yeah. I feel like in the American League, they're probably like outside of like Boston and the Rangers, the win now teams that we talked about, they're probably the closest. And you could easily make a couple of moves if you want to use some of your organizational depth to address the few needs that you have. It shouldn't be very difficult to do.
Hey, can you show me the free agents in this save?
Sure can. What any position in particular?
Oh, just around the infield. Or I guess all. But there's nothing really.
No,
really
Justin Morneau's a very solid free agent if you're looking for some contact. Not much kicking around at second. Third, you have Alex Liddy, who's a very good hitter, really good arm, but not great fielding, and his vision is pretty bad.
Go back. You might be able to. What's Juan Uribe?
Alexi Ramirez, shortstop.
Yeah, you got Juan Uribe.
You might be able to play. You might be able to pick up Uribe, put him at third, and then move Ramirez to the outfield.
Yeah. Options. There is options. Alexei Ramirez is there, very good fielder as well. Only qualifies at shortstop, though. Yeah. No secondary positions for Alexei.
Ramirez, damn it.
Yeah, Vladimir Valentin's that. Can you go back to that? Let me see that real quick. Yo, get Vladimir Valentin playing right field for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Get some bops.
53 fielding, though.
Don't need it.
He'll be hitting some bops and making lots of drops.
What you do is you put him at DH.
Put Edwin in the outfield?
Put Edwin at third.
Okay. All right. Let's switch this to how to ruin the Cleveland Indians franchise in franchise mode. Okay. Where'd my list go? Next up, we're moving on to the American League West. And everyone's favorite young up-and-coming team, the Houston Astros, who the biggest thing I feel the Astros need is not necessarily a position. It's time. Yeah. They have a very good base roster. They have very good starting rotation with Keuchel and McCullers or McCullers, however the American way to say it is.
McCullers.
It's fine.
Like MCCOUL.
Yes, exactly. But they have two potential starting pitchers in Francis Martes and Joe Musgrove, who are very close. They're already in the high 60s. So you're pretty set there. Your bullpen is very good. It's not necessarily super dominating, but Gregerson, Harris, and Giles is a very nice combination to have. You have Gaddis and McCann. Obviously, you're probably going to DH one of those. If I had to pick a spot, you really need to come up with a long-term solution in left field, and you really need to come up with a long-term solution in right field, because right now you have 35-year-old Nori Aoki, and you have 39-year-old Carlos Beltran and 30-year-old Josh Reddick. So you do need to address your corner outfield, but other than that, I mean, the Astros they just need development time, and they're a very, very good baseball team.
Your corner outfielder's on this team. Your corner outfielder's on this team already.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Fisher's pretty good.
No, it's George Springer. Springer's in center field because Marisnik can't hit as well. But dude, right. Marisnik, look at Marisnik's speed and fielding, dude. He
can use Marisnik is a very good number 9. I definitely will agree with you there.
Yeah, I would say Marisnik in center field. You throw Springer back into right field where his arm plays, and that 77 speed is so good.
Yeah, and then you can DH Beltran and put Gaddis in left.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is you put Springer. If you put Springer right, Beltran isn't a right fielder anymore. Beltran is DH. So, and like you said, you platoon Reddick and Aoki in left field. So and that's your answer for now. Like you said, that's not a long-term solution because Reddick and Norioki will not last much longer this season. Matter of fact, you'll see him start to decline during the season. Reddick as well, because Reddick's C is actually, I think his potential is actually under a 78, so he may platoon a little bit or actually start to regress a little bit. It's going to be a little bit, like I said before, Derek Fisher or Kyle Tucker already. The best chance you probably have at this point is Bregman in left field, but do you really want to waste that defense that he can have at third base for you?
Yeah.
The other part of this is Tony Kemp, who was a top prospect last year, is a C potential this year. He can play, and he can play the outfield for the time being. So again, he could play left field for you if you really want to kind of get froggy with the fact that he's a contact only guy. Or, as crazy as this is going to sound, you put Marvin Gonzalez at first base, or you roll with Tyler White's hitting at first base, and you roll Yulieski Gurriel out to left field. Gurriel can play left field, especially in Houston with the short left field porch.
Yeah. That was something that I was looking at as well. I mean, he has 68 fielding, 72 arm strength, which is going to take a little bit of a secondary position hit, but left field in Houston is not a huge. His 62 speed will be more than enough for him to get around the outfield. And again, first base is something where you kind of got to look at. I mean, you do have AJ Reed, who's a B. He's a 62. I don't know if his vision's ever really going to develop. I mean, he might get into the 50s or the 60s, but that's, if he gets lucky. So first base is something you can look at. But yeah, again, just like the Indians, I think you have a lot of options on this team with some very interesting positional or secondary positions. But yeah, you're definitely going to probably, if you're going to try to just ride it out in the first year and let some of these Bs and As, become very good players, you're definitely going to need to address your outfield for sure.
Do not be afraid to use Brady Rogers or David Polino, both starting pitchers, or Forrest Whitley, even though he's 19. Brady Rogers will net you probably a everyday left fielder. If you start to get into guys like Joe Musgrove, who's 24 years old and a 65 with an A potential, or like a guy like Forrest Whitley, who's 19, if you are on the verge of winning your first year and you need an extra bat, trade your starting pitching prospects. Yeah. You have Keuchel will be around for a little bit. McCullers will be around for a while. Colin McHugh will be around for a little bit. You might lose Charlie Morton, but you have so much potential at starting rotation that those guys will be there much sooner than you think. Francis Martez is probably a September call-up and will be in your starting rotation next year. The same thing with Brady Rogers because he's 26. Martez might not progress as quickly, but Brady Rogers will because he's getting into his prime. Those guys between 24 and 26 progress faster to their potential. So don't be afraid to grab yourself a big-time bat for the corner outfield positions. Or if you really want to, like I said, go get yourself a third baseman and put Bregman out in the left field.
Yeah, I would definitely have no reservations about dangling Joe Musgrove out there. I mean, again, he is an A. He is 67, 24 years old. So, I mean, he's going to be 25, 26 before he really starts to get, to where, you're going to want him as an A. You're still going to have Francis Martez. You have Mike Fiers for 5 more seasons, which is, you have him till he's 36 years old. So you're going to have that 4th, 5th guy in the rotation that's locked up. So, you can trade some of that starting pitching depth. That's definitely a very, very good tip. Back to the list. Okay, we're going to move to the National League Central, and we're going to take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals, who are a very good team. If you're looking for a team that has a chance to win it with really minimal work required. My only really glaring hole on this team, they really do need a backup catcher in the short term, is third base. Third base, I absolutely hate Jed Jorko. I can't stand him. He makes $9.3 million. He's, average vision, low contact. But other than that, I feel like they're pretty set at most positions for you to be able to make a run, especially obviously you got the Cubs, but you should definitely be in wild card contention in the National League very quickly.
The good news is with Jorko, you can actually Johnny Peralta is probably better suited for third base at this point with his speed and reaction. And you have Aldamus Diaz, who is a superstar in the making, even at a B potential.
Yeah.
So with his hitting and everything, you're good with. I think you're good with moving Peralta to third and putting Jorko in as like a utility infielder. Your other option is Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter's sitting at first base, and those fielding ratings would play better at probably. I want to say second, but I like Colton Long. But man, you might want to put Matt Carpenter back at second base.
Yeah,
and let Colton Long come off the bench because while I like his contact and vision, he needs another year to really let that round out to be an overall player.
Yeah, I feel like if you get Matt Adams in the lineup at first base and he has the tendency to get some people get into very good grooves with Matt Adams, especially against righties. Mm-hmm. I mean, he has good enough ratings to be your everyday first baseman, especially in this lineup. St. Louis is not a power team. They do not play in a power stadium. So you are going to be, manufacturing a lot of your runs. Matt Adams can give you a little bit of a jolt from the left side. You can use Matt Carpenter at second. You can use Matt Carpenter at third. Again, with a lot of these teams that are close, you definitely have options. I really like Randall Grichuk to develop into a power corner outfielder. Right. He's only 25. He's a B. He already has power ratings in the 70s, and he's very good defensively as well. And he will probably blossom into 80 fielding and probably 85 arm strength. A lot of people really like Dexter Fowler, and you do have Harrison Bader as well, who's more of kind of a speed fielding guy right now. But as an A potential, he can definitely develop into a good hitter for you.
And don't sleep on Piscotty. And in the chat, I see A Stocky in the chat says move Cart back to first and go get like a Cargo or get like a Piscotty or go get Piscotty at first. The only thing with Piscotty, while he does have first bases as a secondary, I mean, he's 72, 73, 71, 68 for his fielding strength, accuracy, and reaction. I feel like you still want to kind of keep that in the outfield, even with 55 speed at a corner outfield spot.
Yeah.
And same thing with Grichuk. Grichuk and Piscotty are pretty much the same guy in the outfield. I could see possibly getting a corner outfielder, dangling maybe a guy like you don't want to dangle Carson Kelly because Carson Kelly's going to be real good. Man, I don't know who you would dangle. Like you don't want to dangle Alex Reyes. That's the other problem is you really don't have a ton of trade pieces with the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's definitely a negative.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Bader, Kelly, and Reyes, but I mean, Bader is going to take over Dexter Fowler sooner rather than later. Carson Kelly is the answer for Yadier Molina because Molina's already 34.
Yeah, you've got a handful. You've got a handful of B starters down in the 50s. You've got Sandy Alcantara, who's a 59. But again, I don't know if you want to be there. There definitely is a gap in your organization amongst pitchers from Alex Reyes to literally everybody else.
Right.
You have Alex Reyes there. Alex Reyes is ready to go. You could probably, if you want to, you could probably put Alex Reyes in your rotation right away. Although he does have some major control issues.
Yes.
So if you're using anything other than, even if you're using analog, he's going to walk guys. You're going to miss your spots. You're going to give up some home runs. But he's there. He is, good enough to probably be your fifth starter in the NL where he's going to go 5-6 innings. But after that, you really don't have much. So I don't know if you want to be going down and trading some of these Bs that could develop. Their bullpen is pretty good. Yeah, but that's the one thing is if you're looking to make a quick upgrade, yeah, I really don't know who you would just all of a sudden be like, yeah, I'm going to get rid of this guy.
And just a quick response to A Stocky about what about Weaver, like Luke Weaver, Jack Flaherty, Dakota Hudson, the Bs that you have. The problem is while they're young, they're B potential guys. You're not going to get a superstar. You're not going to get somebody better than Piscotty or Grichuk to play a corner outfield for you. with a B. You're gonna have to combo a bunch of these guys together. And as Snaggle said, you're gonna lose Wainwright soon. That's a fact of life. So you're gonna have Carlos Martinez, Michael Wacha, and Alex Reyes. I wouldn't lean on Lance Lynn. I wouldn't lean on Mike Leake. Mike Leake's at 57, 52 hits over 9K over 9. Lance Lynn is a friggin' gas can on the mound. Yeah. Like he's just waiting to blow up. So
Mike Leake's problem is you owe him over $60 million over the next 4 years. So he's going nowhere.
Yeah,
because nobody's picking up Mike Leake's contract at an 80 overall with C potential. It's not going to happen.
Yep. So that's you're pretty much stuck with that. And while I like the Cardinals, man, I just don't know who you can trade to get a piece. I mean, you might want to get maybe a bullpen arm, but their bullpen's actually kind of set. Yeah. I just don't know where the piece is you trade. You're pretty much set with what you have.
Maybe that backup left fielder, because he's a B pop, but he's already like 28.
Martinez.
Rookie, yeah.
Martinez, yeah, but the problem is he's not going to hit for you,
and he's 28.
That's why I'd say get rid of him, because he's not going to play over either of your corner guys already.
Right, but at 28, the one thing that the computer's very good at in this game is when you trade a B potential guy that's over like 27, 28, and he's not like a major league guy already. The computer is very good at understanding when guys progress. So you can't just see a B potential and trade him off in this game like you could before.
Well, I mean,
Wade Miley, boom.
Wade Miley, the first. So, I mean, just throwing Jose Martinez on the trade block, you get a 75 Mike Montgomery, Fernando Salas. So you get some good Oliver Perez. You're looking for a lefty arm out of the bullpen who's 35.
Yeah, but I mean, see the guys you're getting. You're getting essentially you're getting mid 70s. Like Ali Perez is an 80, but will be downgrading. Like they're telling you, hey, we're either going to give you an older guy who can play for you, like in the bullpen or like off the bench, or we'll give you a younger guy that might have a little bit of a ceiling, but it's not going to be very high.
Yes. Okay, so last but not least on our top 5, almost there teams. Another team that I got some pushback that they weren't in the top 5 win now. That's the San Francisco Giants, and it's an odd number year, so they're not going to win the World Series. We already know that, and actually they didn't win it in the even numbered year, but still, the 3-time World Series champions of this decade. The first big issue with these guys is starting pitching depth is, I mean, you get Matt Cain as your number 5 at 32 and only a 69. And your only real prospect that's anywhere close is Tyler Beatty. And he's a 64 and a B, and his per nines are just atrocious. The other major issue I have with this team is their outfield, left field specifically, but their outfield is very thin and very devoid of anything in the relationship of a prospect.
Melvin Upton, though. Beast.
I mean, you do have, left field, you're trotting Jarrett Parker out there.
I think they're playing like Aaron Hill right now in real life.
Yeah. That's probably not good. Does Aaron Hill he doesn't even have outfield eligibility in this. I mean, I feel like, again, they're a very good team. I feel like a lot of these guys, I feel like Brandon Belt is better than an 84.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I feel like Joe Panik is better than a 79.
Panik, yes, continue.
Panik. Whatever.
Joe Hydroponic.
I really like Eduardo Nunez.
You could play him in the outfield, right?
Yeah, Nunez is an outfielder.
Nunez, yeah, he has second short and both corners. But then if you move him, who do you play at third? You could play Aaron Hill at third, I guess.
Bring him along.
Again, they are, they got a very good bullpen. They're probably a corner outfielder and maybe some starting. I mean, if you have a couple injuries to your starting pitchers, you're in big trouble. But other than that, I mean, if you stay relatively healthy and you're able to make a move or two, I feel like they're a very good team.
Yeah, I think you need, like you said, you need at least one corner outfielder. I think Pence will work for you for now. I think Denard Span's fine in center field. I think Drew Stubbs actually could play left field probably. If you really wanted to, I think Stubbs is probably a platoon guy with Upton in left field. Gorgas Hernandez isn't really there. Brian Reynolds could probably hit some for you early on, but dude, he's so many years to build up. Man, I'm trying to think about who else. Starting rotation's good, not great outside of Bumgarner. Outside of Bumgarner and Cueto. Samardzija is not going to stay good for very long. Matt Moore may get a little better, but not a ton. You really don't have too much in the minors waiting. Like Tyler Beede is good. Chris Stratton is good. Like you don't have that big time guy waiting in the minors to go, oh wait, you know what? I'm on my way. The problem is all their A's are already MLB guys and all 27 and up. Yeah. So, dude, like in real life, Madison Bumgarner gets hurt and they're out of it. Like there are people saying they may not. There are people saying they may not beat out the Dodgers. Like they're done with the Dodgers now. Like the Dodgers are going to destroy them if Bumgarner's out for. I think is Bumgarner out for long term?
I think they said All-Star break.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't think Giants are going to keep up. They're so thin that one injury is going to take the Giants down.
Yeah. And
if you look at every position, they're thin at every position. It's not just one. Like Pence is at 81. The next closest is a 70. Justin Ruggiano, who really isn't an outfielder. Denard Span, Drew Stubbs, and then you're done. Melvin Upton, Jarrett Parker can't play outfield for you. It's not going to work. Crawford, no one. Nunez, no one. Panic, Kelby Tomlinson, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Belt, Chris Marrero is a good hitter, but Chris Marrero is not going to be an everyday player for you. Hundley, maybe. I'll give you Hundley because I like Hundley a lot. But I mean, like, once one guy in the rotation gets hurt, you're already starting a 67 overall Matt Cain in your 5 spot.
Yeah, they're definitely very hinged on staying healthy. Absolutely.
So that was your 5 teams, right?
Yep. I have. Okay, I was going to say I did have honorable mentions that we can do quick little blurbs about, but if you have, you go ahead.
I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay,
you ready for this? Same division. The Arizona Diamondbacks are built to win with one move, and that one move is a closing pitcher. Iannetta and Hank Conger, with Oscar Hernandez coming up behind him, can hold down the catcher spot. Paul Goldschmidt is a monster. We all know that. Second base, you can actually bring Ketel Marte up and be a very good contact guy. He can actually play shortstop for you too. Jake Lamb, Rake Lamb. I mean, come on, we all know Jake Lamb's a monster. Yeah. The big thing about Jake Lamb that I like is his quirk. He has a first pitch hitter quirk, which means you can just sit fastball first pitch and you will hit bombs. Even at shortstop, I say Chris Owings. Chris Owings is a very good like a 2-hitter. Nick Ahmed, I'm not a big fan of, probably your utility guy. But their outfield, Yasmani Tomas, AJ Pollock, Gregor Blanco, and David Peralta can almost carry them. So I think Arizona is very close, and I think with Greinke, Taijuan Walker, Robbie Ray, Shelby Miller, Patrick Corbin, I just listed 5 guys that will be in the 80s by the end of your first year. Corbin will get up to 80 with Archie Bradley right there.
Yeah,
Bradley's 24 and 70. He will boost very, very quickly.
Yeah, and you still have Ruby De La Rosa and you have Anthony Banda as well, who he does need some work, but I do like the fact that he already has 80 stamina,
and he can
improve.
Well, and they have pieces they can trade. Braden Shipley.
Shipley, absolutely.
Yeah, they can trade off Matt Koch. There are guys that they can trade to get the pieces. That's why I like them. The other team, and I'm not 100% sold that I'm going to say this, but I'm going to anyway, is the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, so they're not. So you said same division, but they're not in the same division.
Oh no, the first one was the same division. The first one was the same division as the Giants. Gotcha. I apologize.
Gotcha.
So the other one is the Angels. Yeah. Their starting pitching is young and upcoming. Tyler Skaggs is 25. Andrew Heaney, which even though he is hurt in real life, is not hurt in the game, is 25 and a B and upcoming. Manny Benuelos and Nick Trapino, both guys that are up and coming. Alex Mayer is up and coming. Like, all of these guys are good. Garrett Richards and Matt Shoemaker can both pitch right now for you, and so can Skaggs for that matter. Their bullpen is pretty good. One of the, I'd say, above average bullpens. Cam Bedrosian is a way better closer than anyone will give him credit for. He has an 86 K over 9. 69 hits over 9, but he's a beat potential 79, and he's 25. He jumps quickly. Catcher, you probably have to find a piece for, but your first year, Albert Pujols can still play. Like, and if you don't like Albert Pujols, you've got CJ Cron. CJ Cron is a monster at the plate. 71 contact. He's a reverse splits guy. Danny Espinosa can hit okay against lefties. Escobar is probably your better third baseman. And Andrelton Simmons, I think everyone knows my love affair with Andrelton Simmons. Like, he gets to everything at shortstop.
Yeah.
But the real piece here is Cole Calhoun and Mike Trout, with Ben Revere probably playing left field for you. With a little Cameron Maben mixed in too. I think they can hit and field while the division they're in is going to be not as tough as it was last year. Yeah, they've got Houston, but I think Texas is a little down. I think Seattle is a little down in this game, with the exception of Seager. I think Cano shows his age very quickly.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a year that the Angels in this game could be finally, you could take control of them and allow Mike Trout what he needs.
Yeah, the Angels were a team that I had on my list that just missed the cut. Yep. I feel like the Angels get painted as a rebuild because that's what a lot of people talk about in real life. The Angels in this game are far better than they are in real life. I do really like their outfield because, again, in the National League West, you play in some very big outfields. Anaheim, big outfield. Oakland, big outfield. So having those guys like Maben and Trout and Revere, and Calhoun doesn't have a great speed, but he does have fantastic fielding. They're going to get to a lot of balls that other people aren't going to get to. I really like this Angels team. You do run into some, again, if you do play it out long term, because they're using the default contracts, Pujols doesn't even reach 10 million at any point. But again, he is under contract till he's age 42. You're not going to want to be paying him $8.5 million for his age 40 season and $8.8 million for his age 41 season.
But he will retire before then.
He will probably retire before that. Yeah. I really like those two selections, Millennium. Real quick, I'm just going to give quick little blurbs about teams I had that almost made the cut. The Blue Jays, near and dear to my heart. They do have a very young, but all top 5 of their starters are all 80s and they're all Bs. Hap's 34, but he's very good right now. Liriano's 33, but he's very good right now. The biggest knock on the Blue Jays is their bullpen is dumpster fire. Greeley's old, will regress very quickly. Joe Smith, while he does have the nice little submarine, is again 33. He's not great. I'm not sold on Aaron Loop or JP House. So Blue Jays, you really got to look at the bullpen and left field. Everybody knows they can hit the ball in most positions, but their left field is trash.
But I will say this for the Blue Jays: if you're in franchise mode and you're looking for a reliever to pick up, Joe Biagini is pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be getting some. If you're someone who uses SCEA rosters, he's definitely going to be getting some attribute boosts. He's up to a 70 now. He's definitely been pitching better than that, and 50 stamina as well on Biagini is nice. Mills mentioned the Mariners. I'm kind of torn on the Mariners. I feel like on paper they have a very good team. The only reason why I would include them in this conversation is because with the Mariners, if you don't take them over and try to win now and make the moves, in 2018 and 2019, they're going to be on that rebuilding list. Cano's not getting any younger. Nelson Cruz isn't getting any younger. Felix Hernandez isn't getting any younger. Seager's a year away from being 30. But they do have some very nice pieces. I mean, their pitching staff is pretty acceptable. It's not great. It's not bad. Again, you look at the Mariners and the Angels, there's not many teams out there that can say that they have 870 or higher starting pitchers. The Mariners can, the Angels can. Their bullpen's okay. The biggest thing for the Mariners is Carlos Ruiz is ancient. Mike Zunino is awful. So catcher is bad. And at first base, Danny Valencia, he's pretty good. Again, he's on the wrong side of 30. So the Mariners are just kind of old. But they're a pretty acceptable team. And again, the National League West is anybody can win, I feel like, if you get the right pieces. Marlins, people like the Marlins. They are, they're a little thin in the rotation. They have a lot of 70s, but they don't have an ace, first of all. And their top 3 pitchers are all on the wrong side of 30. Well, not the wrong side, but they're on our side of 30. They need a left-handed reliever, and they really need a long-term third base solution. Martin Prado, while he does hit 99 contact against lefties, is old, and he's only a C. And I get absolutely flamed in the comments if I didn't mention the Mets. Mets are very good. Lots of starting pitching. You've got Syndergaard, DeGrom, Harvey, Matz, and Wheeler. Who wouldn't want that as your starting rotation? If that starting rotation alone can probably carry you to wild card contention. Their bullpen with Reed and Blevins and Familia is very good. Travis d'Arnaud is. You're either going to love him or you're going to hate him. You may end up going out and getting another catcher right away because after him, there's literally nobody.
Yeah, his stats are his attributes are just like super mediocre right across.
Yeah,
the board.
he's average. 60 and 59 contacts, 56, 58 power. He's not very good defensively for a catcher. So he's a catcher. It's like you're just like you can't expect more. If he goes on an 0 for 20 or 0 for 25 slump, you're like, okay, well, he's just going to do that. If, he has a 10% success rate throwing runners at you, like, well, it's just – and then you really have no other options other than to trade. The other thing with the Mets is the Mets are old. Dude is 31, Walker's 31, Wright's 34, Reyes is 33, Cabrera's 31, Cespedes 31, Granderson's 36, Bruce is 29. So, again, another team – Bruce is only 29? Yeah.
Wow. I feel like he's got that Dylan Bundy-itis where he's been around for 15 years, but he's only...
Yeah. And last but not least, Pirates. Pirates are a very good team. They need their starting pitchers to develop. You have the names, but you have you have 2 A potentials in Taillon and Glasnow who are pretty much ready to go. Glasnow's control is very bad, so he needs some development there. Taillon's 75 overall, but he's probably playing closer to an 80 when you factor in his very low home runs per 9, which is only, obviously in franchise, if you're going to simulate, he's going to give up some home runs. But when you're out there using him, he probably plays more like an 80. But yeah, the Pirates, they need some work in the bullpen, and you're going to have to address your third base, and you're going to have to wait for Josh Bell to develop as first base. And again, he's kind of the same as d'Arnaud, except he's 4 years younger. Josh Bell is just a very average player right now, but he does. I know in MLB The Show 16, he became an absolute monster in every franchise.
The only other one I just want to throw out there real quick, and no blurb or anything, is the Colorado Rockies. Just if you're looking for an interesting team in a pretty tough division, but the addition of Ian Desmond, who is one of MLB The Show's like unsung heroes in terms of how he hits and how he fields, and some of the youth they have on that team with some of the guys that are right around 30 or late 30s, including Nolan Arenado at 25. Dude is already a superstar. So they have a very good starting lineup, a pretty good starting rotation that's up and coming, and then their bullpen's not bad either. Their bullpen, they don't have like a lights out closer. They got Greg Holland, but it's not a bad bullpen either.
Yeah, I thought about putting them on the list, but I just don't feel. I feel like their rotation requires too much work to hang right now. You know, they've got names and they've got pieces. I just feel like you're either going to have to make several high profile trades or you're really going to have to wait it out. I mean, I really do like Jeff Hoffman, but yeah, I mean, again, you know, these teams on these lists they can be interchangeable. I mean, they really can. It's just kind of you know, our thoughts. I mean, you use whoever you want for franchise. But those are our wonderful. Anyway, so that's our recommendations for.
What was it? 5?
Almost there.
Almost theirs?
Almost there.
So
almost theirs.
That's a large amount of almost their teams that you can rock with if you want to try that out. What's next week? Next week we're gonna go 3 to 5, or we're gonna switch it up and go back to something else.
TBD.
TBD. So now you know what next week's topic is. TBD, and you get to look at sweet loading screens weekday
How
nights.
you get it and how you heal it.
There we go. Now we're in here.
Right.
We got a couple questions in the mailbag
Yes, we do.
that we're going to take a look at. Hop over there.
Phantasmic Feels wants to know. We already talked about the 25 and under event. What do we think of the new Jorge Posada 95 breakout?
Let me ask you a question. Are you just like messing with us now?
Who?
You.
Why? What's up?
What did you just say his name is?
Jorge Posada.
No. He didn't actually say that. Move on. It's not going to be worth it because this is gonna trigger everybody. So just keep moving.
Let me pull up the numbers here. Jorge Posada.
I like him.
I don't even see him. Oh, I can't. Is he? Is it on that link?
The link is in the Discord. If you want to just go to the Discord and click on the link to the Daddy Leagues page. BT Dubs. I mean, I really like him. He's more of a power guy against righties. He's going to absolutely destroy lefties. 40 vision is kind of not great for a 95.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I was trying not to say anything for literally the last 5 minutes because I'm sure you're watching. I'm sure he's watching the online feed, which is behind.
We have a new Raw champion.
No. The Caps won.
Caps won overtime. Shattenkirk 3-2.
Go Caps.
I like this Posada. I'm not big on 40 vision. I feel like that 98 discipline drives up his overall. I mean, 78 fielding and 78 arm strength is, what I would say is probably an average for a catcher. So, he's going to provide you average defense. Yeah, I mean, for
he can hit lefties
for 90 he's absolutely going to rake at the plate if you can overcome the small PCI.
Yeah. Sometimes I just don't know what's making overall so high.
Well, that 98 discipline is probably playing a big factor in it, I would imagine.
You should do a thing where you go figure out how much discipline counts.
I will. I will.
And
but not right now.
I mean, his fielding's okay. The contact versus righty is okay. Don't get me wrong, the power's nice. I like that a lot. The plate vision's a little low for a 95, I would say. Yeah, he's nice. I got no problems with that. That'll play.
Nice.
And it gives you he's nice and even against lefties, and then on righties he's got the pop, if you really want it.
Ooh. FSU wants to know, can you toss up a compare with him in the 92?
Can I toss up a compare with him?
With the 95.
92.
95 Orge.
They're asking for a lot.
Well, I mean, I could do it and then just link it to you.
I would literally almost prefer you call him George.
What's wrong with Orge?
I'm gonna quit this. I'm quitting the show. If he calls him Jorge one more time, I'm quitting the show.
Listen, you did Nick Tropiano's name wrong, but I'm not going to say anything about it because I like you.
What did I call him?
Tropino?
Nick Trapino.
Trapino.
I love Trapino.
It's Tropiano.
No, don't say your crap at me.
I'm just telling you. That's how it is. Compared to the other one, I can't see this because I need to zoom in. It's got like 20 points on contact versus... Or no, oh, wow. The 92 has better contact versus righties by 20 points. Contact versus lefties is about the same. The 95 has 10 more power versus righties, 10 more power versus lefties. So you're gaining power, but you're losing contact versus righties. Also, the 92 has 30 more vision, a little less discipline. The 92 also has less fielding. So it's a power V contact play, pretty much. So if you want more contact, less power, you want the old one. If you want more power, less contact, you want the new one.
There you go.
What else? What else we got?
I think there are people in the chat saying they feel like I've heard that from a bunch of people. They like the 92 better. I mean, the 92 is it seems like a better card.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things. Just like that Jackie Robinson, that's got left field eligibility. What's it? Left field and third base, something like that. We don't really love that card, but the 82 we kind of like. Yeah, different strokes for different folks. What do we want to look at? Based on Balls wants us to look at his team and give him some suggestions. Guys, if you want to get suggestions from us, make sure you go to the Bullpen Banter Discord and come over there, chat it up, hang out. And every week we'll take questions from the mailbag. Oh, he sent a picture? What am I going to have to save this image and insert it? This is killing me here. Okay. Let's get this. Save image. I mean, he's got JD Martinez, so I don't want to buy anybody else at left field. Because JD Martinez is perfect. He's perfect, guys. Media file.
By the way, don't forget you have about an hour left in the event if you wanted to play another game.
Yep.
I don't think I can get 9 wins in that time.
Come
on.
I would if so. He wants to upgrade catcher and right field, and he's willing to put about $35K total.
I think it's a 35 each.
He said
About
$35K for both.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to go cheap in the outfield, you can pick up Christian Yelich. He's only about like $6K. He's awesome.
This is literally not real.
You can pick him up. He's pretty good. Catcher, I mean,
You can't afford Posey, right? So
no, I mean, what you could probably do is you could probably complete the Brewers collection and then do the grind for 92 Lucroy, who's pretty good. And then you're going to get Ryan Braun, which will solve your outfield problem as well. Ryan Braun's very good. You'll also get the 89 Axford out of it, who's I don't really like his pitch mix. He only has fastball, curveball, slider, but still pretty good.
Oh, actually,
So that's another option as well.
Wait, am I looking at the real thing? Is live series Posey's only 23K? That sounds super low, but
There's no way live series Posey is 20.
where did I click on that?
Live series
no,
Posey,
no.
53K.
I'm looking at the MLB The Show 16 rosters.
Wow, he's still going for 23K and 16.
Diamonds. Well, what's a diamond? Isn't a diamond drop 25? Or is it 10?
What? Quick sell, you mean?
Quick sell value.
It's 5. It's only 5K.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some options if you're going to spend 35K. Catcher is difficult because I mean, obviously you can't afford Posey,
And I think I want to say he might have Stanton and not like him. I assume that's why he's not on the screen and he doesn't have the 35K. But yeah, do the Brewers, get the Braun.
Yeah, you're gonna get Braun and Lucroy out of it, and you're also gonna get Axford. You're gonna get VR to be a speed guy off the bench.
Is there anything that expensive in the Brewers?
No, Braun and Villar are the two.
That's right. VR's like 13 to 15K, right?
I think he might even be lower than that now.
Yeah, I think he's down a bit now. Looking at, I mean, the entire Brewers collection right now, 27K according to Daddy Leagues with buy orders.
Yeah, Villar you can go a little under 10K and get him, and you're gonna be right around 14K for Braun. But now it's still giving you another 10K to play around with.
And you get Eric Thames now, or Eric Thames, depending on how they're pronouncing it these days.
That one I won't bang you on because nobody really knows anymore.
We used to pronounce it Thames when he played for the Blue Jays.
Actually, if you go with the last name is in game, it's Tim's. If you look up THAMES and give him his name in game because he doesn't come with it because he's a new player, it's Tim's.
Well, you know what I would say? I think you guys are both wrong actually on this this play because I know Base on Balls is a Brewers fan, so he might as well just go for that Tony Gwynn. Do the team epic. It's not going to cost him a lot.
No problems, Base on Balls. We're glad to give you some opinions on how to help your team. Spend the $30K, finish the Brewers, get yourself. Again, I mean, VR is very underrated. He's very good speed. He qualifies at pretty much every position on the field. And as only an 85, once your team gets up there, he'll help you keep your rating mod down a little bit. Because, I mean, looking at your squad, you've got everywhere gold. You'll end up with everywhere gold except for second base. You still have D. Gordon.
I do love that they put Eric Thames' player card in the game. Like, that was really quick for them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I assume Topps already has him in there. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
CV Hit Squad 04 is struggling creating a balanced bullpen. He's not able to get enough quality lefties in there. Who are our go-to lefty relievers / closers?
Here's the problem. There just aren't enough quality lefty relievers out there. That's really the big problem right now.
Yeah, every time you go into Diamond Dynasty, my suggestion is to go in inside edge and go to relief pitcher and see who's high. Like today, Brett Cecil's high.
Brett Cecil's high every single day.
And I assume he's the only one, right?
There you go.
Brett Cecil is this will be the third straight show I've said this. You definitely want to have Brett Cecil on your team. He is an 80, but he is an 83 or 84. The last 14 days, he has had 13 of those days positive IE boosts of at least 3 or 4 overall, and 9 to 11 points in hits per 9. So Brett Cecil seems to always be on a positive IE boost for whatever reason. He's super cheap. You can get him for 100 stubs. I definitely recommend doing that.
I think he's like the only lefty on positive IE boosts.
Yeah, there's
Donnie. I mean, this is gonna sound crazy, but Donnie Hart, because of how low he is. Now you say, okay, we're going from a 51 to a 58, right? But
yeah.
I mean, he's going from a 44, 46 hits over 9. You're getting plus 14 on those. I mean, he's still they're in the 50s, but he does have a weird motion, so you might be able to do that. I agree with Sporty McPeasy in the chat. I think Jake Diekman is still plays like with the motion he has and the pitch mix he has and the velocity he has. I still think that he is a very good guy you can get. And even though his ratings may not be as high as they were last year, like I still think he's going to be good around the same area.
Yeah,
his pitch mix.
I don't disagree.
But I would say go for the Twins. Do their team epic. There's a 91 Glenn Perkins out there that you can get.
Go ahead.
Ryan Butcher, or whatever we want to call him.
Now that he's fixed, yeah.
He's fixed. He's always on negative IE boost, except when he doesn't have an IE boost at all. But it doesn't matter because even if he's got negative 6s across the board, I think that might have been the worst that I've seen him. He starts off at 99 hits per 9, 99 Ks per 9. Yeah. So that's not a 93 is fine. That's going to be probably the best you can get for a lefty.
The other guy you might want to keep an eye out for is Matt Strom. He's a lefty for Kansas City. He is up and coming in franchise. He's high potential. He's already an 83K over 9. So if they upgrade his hits over 9, plus he's a long reliever, 67 stamina, fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. Like he has what you want out of guys. Granted, he has a bronze, but he has a high K over 9, which when you're looking at lefties, is kind of what you want.
I'm going to go back to something that Millennium brought up earlier in the show. And I think people are approaching this situation wrong. You don't need a left-handed reliever. You need a guy who can get left-handed hitters out. I mean, I know the attributes are different, but if you can pitch effectively with live series Brad Brock, who's someone we talked about earlier in the show, dude's an 88 every single day because he got 4 points overall upgrade in the roster update. He's been 88 overall with IE boost the last 3 days, and that splitter is absolutely a deadly pitch. So, I mean, again, in certain situations, you really don't want to roll a righty out there because of the attribute differences, but he can get left-handed hitters out for you, and he's only going to cost you, a couple hundred stubs.
I actually used Felipe Rivero a lot in the 25 and under event. He worked out pretty well for me. Will Smith is another good option. Super expensive, but good option. Zach Britton, super nasty. I think he's going for like $35K though. I really like him. I used him in BR, and I now kind of want to go and get him for my team.
Britain's good against either way too. That sinker is just, especially in this game this year, the way this game plays this year, sinker is undoubtedly one of the most overpowered pitches in the game.
Yep.
Something I want to check is just
FSU. I've had no luck with Rookie Wagner.
Me neither.
It just seems like everything he throws is a fly ball.
Mm-hmm. I've actually faced him a couple times, and unless I'm just playing people that are bad, they've had like no accuracy with him. Like nothing was ending up in the strike zone. I mean, again, expensive. The rookie Chapman seems all right.
Yeah, but he's only got 24 walks per 9.
Yeah.
Again, you're using him for one batter, but if you can't, especially if you're using, meter pitching, that is a big error zone. Doesn't matter if you throw 100.
Yeah, it looks like I'm trying to pull up the regular Chapman's IE boost to see if he's been on negatives, but Daddy Leagues is not working for me right now.
If anyone in the chat has any questions, this would be the time. The mailbag is wrapped up from the Discord version.
I know someone did recommend Jerry Blevins. He's all right. The only thing is, if you leave that curveball hanging, it's going to get hit literally 3.4 miles.
Yeah, I've been using Blevins a little bit, and I haven't had any success with him really. I don't think he has a fastball, which is a bit of a problem.
Over on youtube.com/thatsportsgamer, Chris Griffiths asks, Joey Votto, sell or trade?
Wow.
I don't know how you would trade him, but
I don't know how you're going to trade him, but I would say sell. Oh, man, the collection. Yeah, he is expensive because he's the top in that collection.
$60K.
What's the collection for them? Barry Larkin.
I believe.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm not a big fan of that Barry Larkin, to be honest.
Yeah, some people love that Larkin, but some people think he can't hit righties. He can field, but I feel like at shortstop there are better options if you're going to do an entire collection. What's the team epic for the Reds?
I believe it's the collection is Johnny Bench.
Yeah, the collection is Johnny Bench, and the epic is Barry Larkin.
Barry Larkin has 98 contact versus lefties, 80 power versus lefties, 99 vision.
Yeah,
but the defense, there's better defense out there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give the That Sports Gamer answer.
I think that Votto is going to come back down at some point as the year goes on. And, I mean, if you're a big-time Reds fan and if you love Barry Larkin, so be it. But there are better first basemen. There are better shortstops than Larkin. And there are better catchers than Bench, all which you get closer to with that $60K.
Yeah. I feel like the TJ answer would be sell Votto and get Freddie Freeman. And you're going to get 18,000 stubs to go along with it.
Yeah,
Freddie Freeman is he's a 97 today with 97 contact versus righties and 99 power versus righties. So you can get ready. And I mean, even at his base, he's an overall higher than Votto. Votto has not been playing very well. I was actually kind of surprised that Votto wasn't knocked down a little bit in the update because he has not been very good. Votto is a very good second half player, so I think maybe they were just waiting. I kind of was expecting him to get maybe knocked down to a 90. But yeah, I would say sell him, buy Freddie Freeman, and then use that 18,000 stubs to fill some spots on your roster elsewhere.
And if you don't like that Freddie Freeman's only 76, 69 against lefties, go get your all-star home runs and get the Paul Goldschmidt that's an 89. I would love to see. He's 98 contact versus lefties, 87 power versus lefties.
Yeah.
So their combo is pretty nasty.
Dave, did we answer that? David Price, sell now or wait?
We didn't answer it.
I don't know.
I haven't seen what he's done this year. I need to look.
Oh, my bad. Well, I mean, he's only going for $7K, so I wouldn't sell him. I mean, he's right there. He's an 89.
Yeah, so he's
For $7K, if he jumps up to diamond, he's going to jump up into the like 18, 19, 20 range.
Yeah, so especially all he has to do is get hot for a month, which he very well could.
Yeah.
With the way he pitches.
hasn't
I mean,
pitched yet.
he is on the
just DL with soreness and inflammation in his left elbow.
Yeah,
Right, which means he won't get a downgrade either. So
Yeah.
Well, and I say even when he comes back, his price probably jumps into the 10 to 12K range just from him being active. I mean, he's a $7,000 89. There's not many of those around.
Mm-hmm. The only problem being that when he does go diamond, he's not going to be the price of any other diamond starting pitchers. He's going to be super cheap, even for diamonds.
Yeah.
Just because there's already a plethora of those cards out there. Like you see with the Freeman, he's only what, like 30K, right?
He's 40. He's up into the 40s now.
Up in the 40s now, damn.
Yeah, he's if you put an order in now, you'd have to be in the 40. Yeah, his price is starting to go up again. Though we're kind of into the Mondays now. The prices kind of are all over the place early in the week, so we'll kind of wait and see what happens. But
Hate those Mondays.
where did this 89 Oral Hershiser come from?
The Dodgers.
I know, but he's only 8K anyway. Note for later.
just real quick in the chat. I know we're coming up against it. So one last question in the chat is: why do you think live series diamonds are so expensive, and do you see the market coming down anytime soon? Live series diamonds have a tendency to stay expensive early because there aren't a lot of legend diamonds that are better than them.
Mm-hmm. And they're super rare right now, I think.
Right. Yeah. Once you start to see those cards come out, like right now, let's say I'm trying to think of a real big time legend diamond, like the Goldschmidt. The Goldschmidt's very rare right now. The one you get for ranked seasons, right? But come May 15th, a lot of people are going to have that Goldschmidt, which is going to make the Freddie Freeman, the Miguel Cabrera, like even the Votto, it's going to make them, or even, you know what, the Goldschmidt for the Diamondbacks. Yeah. It's going to make them come down a little bit because because the really good Goldschmidt, probably the best first baseman in the game when he coming out for that. So
yeah. And I feel like the price of diamonds this year is going to take a bit longer to adjust because Seasons has taken people away from playing BR. That's usually how the diamonds get flooded, or not flooded, but that's usually how these diamonds make their way into the market, is from people getting them as BR rewards. And when people are playing Seasons and they're playing events, they're not playing BR. So there's not as many of those 12 and over rewards. So I think the market, it will adjust as time passes, but I think it's going to be a little slower than we've seen in 16.
Agreed.
Yeah, especially because they seem to be a little smarter with how the cards are coming out.
Yeah. That's and I'm okay with that. I mean, I look at the price longer. I look at the price of diamonds and I'm thinking, okay, these guys were a quarter of that price in August of last year. And I think those prices might not come around until September or October this year. But I mean, again, it's all supply and demand. Right now, there's just none of those diamonds out there. The supply is low. And it's going to take some time. But it's like Millennium said, as we get some of these cards coming out with the seasons ending and things of that nature, we're definitely going to see the prices adjust themselves.
Yeah. Any more questions before we call it a night here on the Bullpen Banter?
Wrap this baby up.
Yeah. If we didn't get to your question, feel free to come on over to the Discord
because we don't like you.
Yes, it's because we don't like you, and we try to keep this. If we answered everyone's question, it'd be 4 hours long. So if we didn't get a chance to answer your question, please feel free to come to the Discord.
I do want to answer this one though.
Okay.
Yosoy Andrew says, "What should I do? I'm in World Series, but I already have the Goldschmidt because of the D-back set.
Wait, you don't have that Goldschmidt though.
Yeah, you don't. The 97 is better.
Yeah. Is
Period.
it? You never know.
I would think the 97 is going to be better. I can't imagine them getting him up to a 97 and not being better. What I would do, Yoso, is man, that's a tough question.
Why do you guys have such problems speaking?
You're right. It is going to be tough because do you get rid of the Goldschmidt now?
I'd say,
wait,
yeah, you sell him now, and then unless you've already locked him in for the team set, I'd say sell him now. Assume he's going to go down, and even if he's not going to go down, I mean,
the live
go down.
The live series Goldschmidt has, like, just for quick comparison, right? You could sell the live series Goldschmidt for about $80K right now.
Mm-hmm.
Contact versus righties is the same with the 97. The 97 actually takes a 13-point hit to contact versus lefties, but 19 points higher in power versus righty, 23 points higher power versus lefty, and the vision's a little bit higher. The 97 Goldschmidt is the card that you want.
And that Luis Gonzalez is not all that.
Yeah. And I mean, realistically, here's the thing. Not saying you should do this, but if it was me, I'm selling that 91 Goldschmidt, and I am selling him right now. I am not waiting, because every day you get closer to May 15th is one day closer that his price is going to take a drop, because when that 97 gets released on the 15th or 16th or whenever they process the rewards, that 91 Goldschmidt is going to take a big hit.
And then if you really want that Luis Gonzalez, then you buy him back.
Oh, you already locked him in? Okay, well, in that case, it's not even a question. I mean, in that case, when that 97 Goldschmidt comes out, I would look at him
Maybe flip him,
see what he is for you, see what you have at first base. And if he's not that great, I might consider selling him.
Yeah. I mean, worst case is going to be what? Probably 150,000. If not more, because you can actually play defense.
Just remember, no matter what, whenever a card comes out, it always is its most expensive, unless it gets like a live series bump.
TJ, can you see how many people are in World Series right now?
There are.
Just to give you an idea, I mean, there's still 13 days left.
And we see
but I
how to get
mean,
there, so.
Yeah, you can look and see how many Goldschmidts are going to be out there.
There are going to be, and I have to do this R1 all the way over, right?
I want to say there's less than 50 still.
And not all of them are going to sell.
No.
Yeah,
Some
most
guys
of
are
them
going
are
to, like, if I get the 97 Goldschmidt, I'm keeping him.
Yeah, I don't think that Luis Gonzalez is that great. It's a great hitter, but I don't think fielding-wise he's very well. I don't think he can play left field or right field for you.
What's 19 times 18?
Huh? 107, no. 8 times
342.
There you go.
There are 340. Well, there's roughly 342 people in World Series.
So that's definitely taken a large jump since the last time we looked at it. Because I think when we did the calculations, that was last week. I think it was in there was like 123.
Wow.
So I mean, realistically, you're looking at, I would say, anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people are going to have that Goldschmidt. Even if half people sell them, there's going to be 200 Goldschmidts out there.
Plus, you don't know how many of those people already dropped back down to Championship Series or something.
Well, exactly, taking L's. So, I mean, it's definitely a risk. I think that 97 is going to be a pricey card if you do decide to sell them.
Yeah, you're going to make a lot of stubs back.
Yeah.
Even if you sell them. So,
I mean, you can just, as not a very good example, but the Jim Rice, that was the 10-win reward in the first event, he goes for upwards of 20K. And when you compare him to other corner outfielders in the same market who are going for like 6K, like we said earlier, it's supply and demand. It's how many of them are out there versus how many people are looking for them. So it's always a crapshoot. All right.
Let me see that. Luis Gonzalez, 97 contact versus righties, 93 power versus righties, 85 contact versus lefties.
The goalie's still not going to be cheap. Like the new goalie or the old goalie, neither one of them is still going to be cheap.
No.
It's still a diamond card.
Yeah,
and
I could
take the hit. Then no.
Yeah, I could see the 91 dropping down to maybe like 50K, like kind of in the Votto Freeman range. I could see the 91 coming down, more to like Votto's price, and then I could see the 97 being anywhere from 80 to 100K, maybe more. Probably a little cheaper right off the start as people try to sell it as quickly as possible.
I mean, I think the bat on this Luis Gonzalez plays.
Yeah.
The fielding's a little questionable.
Yeah.
Something you put Starling Marte in center and you're fine.
Cool.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Super appreciate it. As always, you can follow us on the Twitters at ThatSportsGamer, at SnaggleJ, at MillenniumOS. Also, we're on the Twitches. Same names, except for Millennium OS, who's too cool. He's twitch.tv/Operation Sports.
Sell out with me tonight. Sell out.
You sold out.
I didn't sell out.
I know.
I bought in.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions, please hit up the Bullpen Banter Discord server. We're over there talking about Diamond Dynasty franchise, all that great stuff over there every day. Hit a ! BB Discord in the chat, and the link will pop up right there for you. What else? I feel like that's it. We got anything else? New roster updates. Oh, we didn't even cover the roster update. Maybe we'll start doing that next week.
Good night.
Been good. Thank you guys for coming.
Jesse Rams, just a heads up before we leave. Jesse Rams, Thursday night throwdown, 10 o'clock is when TJ faces viewers in games, in hot contests. So be here Thursday night at 10, guys. And matter of fact, join the Bullpen Banter Discord. That is where he receives challenges for that Thursday night throwdown.
I mean, I didn't know that news, but okay. Yeah, Thursday night throwdown. Me versus you. I'll smoke all you fools. Though I lose to normal people, like people I play with normally. It's weird. I don't get it. But if you're like a random, I'll smoke you online if I get matched up against you. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you again. Same bat time, same bat channel next week. Right here on twitch.tv/ThatSportsGamer or youtube.com/ThatSportsGamer, depending on how you want to watch. But now, it's time for you to get out of the bullpen and get into the game. Take it easy, folks.